Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of It's All Well and Good with me, Abbie Nesbitt. You're probably a bit dumbfounded at the quality of the setup right now. I've made an absolute investment in the setup. I got a new camera, I got the Osmo Pocket 3, which means I no longer have to record on my little camera on my laptop, which is just chef's kiss. So if you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching in the little video toggle that's on Spotify, hey, how are ya? I think recently I had toyed with the idea of coming back to the mic after a few people had said to me, Abbie, where's the podcast? What are you doing? Where's the podcast? Have you stopped the podcast? And like whenever people used to assume that like I'd quit it, that actually broke my heart because I put so much time and effort and work into this podcast. Like it's just a one-woman band. I do the recording, the setup, the editing, the posting, all of it. So it's all me. So whenever somebody assumes that the podcast is no longer running, I feel like I've failed myself. So there was only a few more, oh my God, is the podcast done? I could take. And I just thought, I'm going to get back into it this winter. Summer is such a hard time to be doing something like this. It's so busy. The weeks kind of like basically fall away beneath you. Next thing you know, it's coming into September and you're like, where's summer gone? And what was that thing that I was meant to be doing all summer long? The podcast. And that just like it, the season is done. But I did say in my last comeback, in inverted commas, that you have to live to create, which is so true. I have now lived through the summer months and I'm ready to create in the winter months. I'm ready to invest, to put my hard work into this side of my creative life. So yeah, I'm back and hopefully this is the last time that you will hear me say that. But if you take anything away from what I just said, it is to invest in yourself. Always invest in yourself. Make the steps. There's no time like the present. Just go for it. Go for it, girl, because that is exactly what I'm doing now. I'm just jumping into it. I made a routine, made a plan, going to focus on this podcast, and I'm going to do it not only for you, but for me too, because it's a good therapy session. Quick catch up on what I've been doing this summer. I actually had to write it down because I didn't want to leave anything out. Had a really busy summer. Starting off first, I think the last time I did an episode, it was the New York breakdown episode where I talked you through like everything that we got up to in New York. That was in April. Just saying. So since then, summer has been an absolute whirlwind. In July, I actually went to Palma, Mallorca by myself. I did my first ever solo trip, had the time of my life, met amazing people, got to walk around such a beautiful city. I haven't been to Mallorca since I was little, and I thought because we'd went a few times when I was little, you know, I've kind of been and done that, but I hadn't gone and done it as an adult, and it was so nice to walk around this city just on my, like by myself, on my own terms, and take in a different country. It was so nice. Like I've never done anything like that before. The closest I've done similar to that would be whenever I went to Paris with Phoebe and I flew out to Paris by myself. Oh my God, sweaty palms, sweaty pits. I was scared the entire time. Like I was so scared. But because I made that step last year, it meant that I had more confidence in going to Palma this year. I can't explain how much of a good time I had. Everybody was so lovely in the hostel that I stayed in, and I would easily go back to that hostel. It was so much fun. And a shout out to Ruby, who I met in Mallorca, who's from Melbourne in Australia. Love you. You're an absolute G. I got to work with Kickers again this summer up in Manchester with 4am crew, Sexy Lady Massive, and it was just incredible. It was part of the Save Our Scene edition. Honestly, it was just so good to be surrounded by such creative people. I was on the Vox Pop interviews, running around talking to people, asking them Kickers questions about Manchester's nightlife. So it was really good to get like stuck into that kind of side of my life again. I had so much fun. Thank you so much, Kickers. And it's, you know, it's given me an extra boost in confidence in coming back to the mic as well. So big love and thank you. Me and Eddie went to see Oasis in July as well, which was incredible. We seen them in Manchester Heaton Park. Unreal, best vibes ever. I think I don't really need to say much more about that because everybody has seen everything to do with Oasis recently. Just honestly, one of the best bands on the planet. And like I I'm not a massive diehard fan, right? And please don't be like, oh my God, why did you go? Like, everyone is fighting for tickets. I had a very fortunate position to get tickets. I got tickets. I went. I had the best time. I knew way more songs than what I thought, but they are so good live, and it was such a good time. Me and Eddie only had like one drink because we were soaking up the atmosphere. The atmosphere was incredible. I was so lucky to go and see them in Heaton Park as well. I think just seeing them in an outside arena means so much more to that kind of culture of music than seeing them in a stadium. Personally, for me, that's how I feel. I feel like, you know, it's bucket hat weather, it's pint weather, it's Oasis, it's the crowd, it's singing, it's dancing, it's cheering and getting on and all that kind of stuff. So it felt so right to see them in Heaton Park, and we had a brilliant time. We went down our little Oasis teas, and then we stayed that evening in Manchester as Eddie's brother graduated the next day. So I got to play graduation all day and realise how old I am, and that I graduated 3 years ago, which will be 4 years next year. Oh, I started growing a herb garden in my back garden, which has been really fun, although it is dying off now because it's at the middle of November. But I managed to grow some rocket, some tiny tomato plants that didn't grow any tomatoes because I planted them in the wrong season, spring onions, coriander, basil, and I think it's chamomile, but it hasn't flowered, but it's just the little like leaf roots. So I think it's chamomile. But you know what, the garden needs gutted out. Like, I need to just like scoop everything out, you know, kind of sort out the soil, get it ready. I have planted some autumnal plants out the front as well, which is quite nice to see. They're starting to sprout. I don't know when they're going to flower, but they're sprouting. I just hope they make it through the winter months. I do feel like I'm rambling through like so many different topics right now, but I'm just getting these all caught up. Loads of birthdays over summer, loads of graduations over summer. It really feels like everybody's growing up now, which is quite scary. And I think it's something that I'll just always kind of struggle to understand, that I'm not 17. I'm now 25. I literally turned 25 last month, which is crazy. I'm not 25. Like, I am literally 17. There's no way my body's 25 years old, because my mind is definitely not 25 years old. Although sometimes I'm walking down the street and I'm like, yeah, 25, woman. And then sometimes I'm like, oh my God, no, I don't understand enough about life to be making these kind of big decisions. So yeah, 25, feeling alive. I work in the events industry, so we had loads of events over the summer in Liverpool and down in Daresbury at Creamfields. So that was a big, massive moment at the end of summer. So good to be working at Creamfields and getting content, all that jazz. Absolutely love it. Love the team, love everybody that I work with. Had such a good time. That weekend was definitely one to remember. It was my second Creamfields that I was working at, and easily it topped the first one by a milestone. I could not believe it. The weekend couldn't have went better. It didn't rain once. Everybody enjoyed themselves. And yeah, we're going into next year ready to celebrate 20 years at Daresbury, which is just crazy. Creamfields has a huge legacy in the Northwest, so it's going to be a massive year for us next year. And then that kind of brings us up to September. The key moment in September that really stood out to me was going to see Olivia Dean by myself at the Dome. I tried to get tickets in June and I could only get one ticket, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to go by myself and enjoy her music by myself. And I had such a good time. Do you know what, I'm that girl that whenever the artist walks out on stage, I will cry. And it's not because I'm like, oh my God, fangirl, oh my God, Olivia, I love you so much. I'm not like that at all. It's the realization that these people are real human beings, for one, because everything is so chronically online these days. But number two, the roar of the crowd. And the look on their faces, like the artist faces when they're on stage and they walk out and they're hearing that. And I'm just like, maybe I'm like intellectualizing it all a little bit too much, and I'm feeling it. I need to feel it more. But I just think, like, I kind of take myself into this like a third person. I'm just like, holy shit. Like, this is so good. And I think it's just like, that's just the effect of live music and live events. Like, it's live, it's happening right in front of you. And that will always top any kind of pre-recorded set. But I loved it. And I loved being there by myself. I didn't really make any friends because the performance was only an hour long. But it was just so nice to see her during the week that she had announced her arena tour and sold it out. So it was really nice to like probably have the only chance of seeing her live for the next while without it being an absolute Ticketmaster war. Over the past couple of months, I have spent a lot of time with my family back home, and it's been really nice to reconnect with my roots, to see everybody and watch my little nieces grow up into the little terrors that they are. They're fantastic characters. They amaze me so much, and they're growing up so fast. I can't believe Rosie's going to be 4 in January and Violet's going to be 2 in February. It's just crazy. They're growing up so quick, but they will always be my babies, my girls. I love them so much. So nice to see all of my wider family as well. And yeah, it's always good to go home. Even if it is just to the area or to see your family, it's always good to reconnect with your roots, darling. And that kind of brings us up to October as well. I touched on it earlier that I turned 25 in October. And with that, apart from the mild existential crisis, would be the realization that I have established such a lovely life for myself here in Liverpool, in England, which I'm very grateful for. But it wouldn't be anything what it is today without the people around me. And I felt that the night of my birthday party when I just invited people from like all different pockets and corners of my 6 years here, and it was so nice to have everybody in the same room. I felt so loved, and that means so much to me. I've never had a big birthday party before, so I just thought, fuck it, I'm gonna throw myself one, and I'm so happy that I did, because we had such a good night together with everyone. And yeah, I'm feeling very grateful that I have such a lovely network of support and network of love around me here in England, because it can be difficult leading kind of like a Hannah Montana life where one half of my life is here and the other half of my life is at home in Ireland. So it means a lot to have really good people around me over here, because it's not that easy for me to go home. It's not like I can just jump in the car and go home. I don't have a car. Do you know, like, I don't even have a car to begin with. Even if I was to jump in the car, it would take me forever to get home. And I can't get a train. There's no train that runs from Liverpool to Belfast. Not yet, anyway. They keep talking about that they're going to do that, but they just haven't. But anyway. So it's not easy for me to go home like it is for other people. So, you know, having the foundations here is something that I have been working on not recently, but like I have really been putting more effort into my relationships this year, and I do feel like it's paid off. And yeah, that wouldn't be all because of me. That is because of the people that I have around me. So thank you. You know who you are. Wink face. This winter, I am going into the season with a can-do attitude. That sounds so stupid, but I actually am going in with a can-do attitude, because I am not going to let this season defeat me. I am not going to let the bad weather defeat me at all. My auntie always taught me this saying of feel the fear and do it anyway. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's what I'm doing today. I'm sitting down, jumping in front of the camera and recording this podcast. Again, I'm back. But also tackling all of the little things that come our way in winter. You know, like there's so many different societal pressures. Like it's winter arc. You should be exercising 14 times a day, getting 20,000 steps, blah, 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 eating healthy, but also eat really stodgy and hearty foods and go out and do all of these activities. But don't forget to rest and recuperate and stay at home and create a nice little hibernation space for yourself. And oh, by the way, Black Friday sales, but they might also be a scam because they put the prices up and then they bring the sale down, and then it makes you feel like you're saving money when actually you're not really saving that much money. And then boom, Christmas time. If you didn't already know it, in October anyway, whenever the decorations were in the shops, you'll know it by the Black Friday sales, because as soon as they're over, it's like Christmas comes and slaps you in the face. And then you've got all of the work night outs, you've got all of your friend night outs, you've got Christmas as well. But what if you don't really want to drink? And what if you don't really want to go out? But then you feel like you're missing out on something. And then boom, it's the new year. What are you going to do with this year? What are you going to do for yourself? How are you going to make all of these changes? Give me a minute. Give me a minute. This winter, I am taking it at my own accord. I am taking it at my own pace. I am not letting the whole society blur wash out my winter. And then when it gets to like January, February, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even have a minute to myself. That's what I'm doing this winter. That's the kind of attitude I'm bringing in. I'm saying no when I should be saying no, and I'm saying yes when I maybe want to say yes. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't. I've got a lot of built up energy towards all of that. So I've was looking back on previous winters, and it all just seems to go so quickly. But even though it feels like a drag when it's happening, but because it then just goes so quickly, I'm like, no, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to take it at my own pace. You know, I'm just going to do me the right way and do winter the right way, and not let it stress me out and not let it freak me out, and try to stay ahead of the long evenings and keep loads of activities and things built in so I don't, you know, fall into like a little dark corner. I have been trialing that out with less alcohol. I did promise myself that I wasn't gonna drink until Christmas, but I did break that on Friday. But that's because my friends moved into their new house, and I'm not gonna give that up. I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna warm your house for you. So I had a martini and a Negroni. Yeah. But I'm definitely consuming less alcohol. All of the like straggling pints and the little, you know, glasses of wine here and half pint there, I'm not going to do any of those because I don't need them. My body doesn't need them. And it's kind of like, what's the point if you're not going to get drunk? But also, I don't really want to put myself in a position where I will just have one drink, because it's actually not going to do anything. That's basically the same as like, what's the point if you're not going to get drunk? But I also don't really want to get drunk anyway until Christmas. So I'm not doing that. I'm like I said, I'm going to be jumping straight into content, all that good stuff. So if you see loads of me online, I'm so sorry, but I'm also not that sorry because I've been wanting to do this for ages. But if you do see me, support me. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. And hobbies, I've recently started oil pastel drawings, and this has been such a saving grace. I've been loving it. Eddie got me oil pastels and oil paper because I was sitting going on about it for so long, and I didn't even bother getting myself anything. And then he surprised me when I came back after being at home. And it's been so nice to come home after work, sit down and just draw, to do something manual, because I sit at a desk and I look at a screen all day. It's so nice to just sit down and create or follow a tutorial or whatever it might be and just, you know, draw something on the page. So I've been absolutely loving that. That is something that I'm definitely going to carry through. I did try crocheting last winter, but my patience got ahead of the yarn. Not for me. Also trying to get out to the gym consistently. I have been doing it for the past 3 months, which I'm really proud of myself. I've been following an online coach, which has been so good, and I'm just going to keep turning up for myself and keep going to the gym, whether that's first thing in the morning or during the afternoon on the weekends. I try not to go after work because it's just too dark and it takes too much out of my evenings where I could be doing something more relaxing. So I'm gonna really just try and keep up with myself and keep turning up for myself and push through. That kind of does lean itself into like the winter arc, but I think you can define the winter arc for you and how you want to build yourself in winter. You don't have to follow the norms of a winter arc. Probably the most important thing to me right now is Lily Allen's new album, and I could talk about this for a full episode, so I'm not going to go into it too much. The storytelling, the lyric writing, it's just unbelievable. I've listened to Lily Allen and Makita Oliver's podcast for the past year and a half. I went and seen their podcast show at the start of this year was it Hackney Empire? And it was unbelievable. Like, I love those two women so much, and I love Lily Allen as well. Like, from a music artist perspective, I think she's absolutely fantastic. She's so raw, so real, so honest. So this album is just outstanding. I'm actually at the point where I feel like I don't even want to finish Stranger Things because I'm so against David Harbour, but also kind of do want to know what happens. But David Harbour aside, this is all about Lily, and she's going on tour, which is just amazing. This is all I've ever dreamed of. All I wanted to do was see Lily Allen before I turned 30 and have kids, because then I can turn 30 and have kids and say I've done it. I've done what I wanted to do in my 20s. And her tickets went on sale last week, and I tried to get in through pre-sale, couldn't get in through pre-sale. You know who could get in through pre-sale? Eddie. And he managed to get one ticket, just like how he did whenever the podcast show went on sale. So that means it's my Christmas present. I'm going to see Lily Allen in March. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I love her. She's amazing. Unbelievable. And if you don't like her album, that's cool. Like, but don't tell me. At the minute, I feel like I'm reading a lot more than usual. Now, that's not a lot. Like, I'm not turning the pages every single day, but I am picking up more reading material, which might be, whether that's between Vogue magazines and like picking them up and look at the artistry of the advertisements and reading the odd article, or it is the Saturday edition of the Guardian paper that me and Eddie pick up on the weekends and reading articles throughout that, or the book that I got for my birthday, which is called Men Who Hate Women, which is really interesting, really cutthroat, and a little bit scary, but it's very insightful, and it's quite interesting to learn about such an important topic from, like, within feminism. Like, it's written by a feminist, Lauren Bates, so it's really interesting to learn about, you know, the other side of, I guess it's anti-feminism, to learn about anti-feminism written by a feminist, and more of an understanding as to why men hate women and the different types of men who hate women as well. So that's the book that I'm reading. That's my light reading. No, it's not light reading whatsoever. Although I was just gifted a book yesterday called Let Them. I feel like this got really popular on TikTok and a lot of people were talking about it. So I think that might be my bedside table, like read either in the morning or in the evening, and then Men Who Hate Women can be, you know, a bit more of a gripping read, you know, something that's more like research based, whereas Let Them is more to do with, you know, like lifestyle choices and things like that, so it might be easier to read like in bed. Just so I'm not going to sleep thinking about serial killers and etc. And that kind of catches you up with me. I'm so happy to be back here doing this. It's so good to have a nice setup as well. I've been dreaming of, you know, getting a proper camera for so long. So I'm so glad I've made the investment and I've just jumped straight back into it. Here's a snapshot of some of the episodes that I've got lined up over the next month or so. So I'm going to deep dive next week into more about my winter arc and things that I'm going to be implementing in winter, kind of breaking down my routines and all that good stuff. So if you're really nosy and like to know what people are doing day to day, that episode's definitely for you. Followed by fashion predictions for 2026. I watched some of the fashion shows during Paris Fashion Week, just a kind of general consensus of what could be coming down, like filtering down through into the high street, and the things that I like from the runway. So I'm going to be doing some fashion predictions based on that, which is always a good episode because I just love clothes. Trends we will hate, or maybe we won't. Being a social media manager, I'm at the forefront, or I'm at witness to all of the trends, whether that be fashion, beauty, all food. So yeah, trends we will hate, or maybe we won't. And that's just, some of them will be based on my own personal experiences too. Hobbies, and how important it is to play as an adult. Not what you're thinking. I mean like sport and stuff. Beauty is weird at the minute is the title of an episode that I'm going to focus in on beauty standards, online trends in beauty, capitalism, all that stuff, like all of the different steps that you've got in your like brackets beauty routine, and do we actually need them, and how there is some scams out there. And that'll bring us up to the episode right before Christmas. So I'm just going to talk all things Christmas, what I love about Christmas, traditions, music. It's yeah, we'll just see where it goes from there. I haven't made it a full plan for January just yet, but I think for the next 6 episodes, I've got a really good established plan. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to wrap it up here, like half an hour, catching you up, getting ready, getting back into things. But thank you so much for listening today. If you've listened before, welcome back. And if you haven't, thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to hear more of my little Northern Irish voice, I've got plenty of my previous episodes linked on this profile. If you want to see more silly content, head over to my TikTok at Abbie_Nesbitt, and my Instagram is at Abbie Nesbitt. My DMs are always open. If there's anything that you want me to talk about, I'll talk about it. I've got no issue talking. So yeah, I will catch you next week for the episode that is based on my winter arc. Bye.